Hey guys, so I was saying previously that I was leaving my tank unattended for 6 days practically, and I filled the water level up high, so any evaporation would hopefully last as long as it would. So here's the sump. I have topped it up again. This water level ended up about here, so it was just enough to see it through. I topped it up a little bit more than what it is now, probably to about there, and in the end it lasted all the way through, which is fantastic. However, I had one problem, and that was, well, you can probably see. See all that algae all over the tank. Now, what happened was, when I went away, I don't know why or how, but I have, underneath here, I have these dial timers. And the one on the right hand side, as you can see now, there's some lifted, raised and lowered sections. When I came back, that was completely lowered. I'm not sure how that happened while I was away, but that caused me a few problems with the algae. The skimmer plan worked. I extended the pipe, put it into the tube, and that's not over skimmed or under skimmed, it's just about right. But the growth on my algae, my Cheetah, it's never really been good. It stays low, but it's never really great. So as you can see though, by having 24-hour lighting for 5 days, there's been a bit of a back effect with the algae. I mean, this happens everywhere, it's all over. So it's on the power heads, or the wave makers, the overflow. Same over here, and the return's got quite a lot on it as well. You can see like a nice brown colour to it. The sand has been kept perfectly clean, and I'm thanking that little guy at the back right there for that. He's doing it right now, taking that sand, sifting it through. I just kept turning it over and over. Now, my green star polyp has been like that for a while. That didn't really change or get affected by it very much. My, I believe, devil's finger mushroom, actually it's got quite a bit of green coming out, so I think that actually benefited from it. And if you look at all those little, I'm going to call them tentacles, but I'm sure they're not called tentacles, coming off it now, there's a lot more of them, and they're starting to get little small polyps on the ends, more of them. Sorry about the quality here, it's all the algae. The Bali hammer is coming into 2 nice heads on the left side and one at the back that's starting to split as well now. Now that was not quite as defined as that, so I think that's benefited, although it doesn't seem to spread out as much at the minute. It could just be a bit overkill. The SPS at the back, the Montipora branching, that's grown a little bit. It looks a little bit thicker. There's a little bit of what looks like a hair algae of some sort at the back as well. That can all be put down to this excess of light. Coming across to the zoanthias. Now they don't seem to be liking or hating it, they just seem to be the exact same as when I left them. Down here, behind all that algae, we have the Acan. Now that was really closed up when I first got here. I think it didn't like it at all. However, it seems to be opening up a bit again and ready for food, so I'm going to do a bit of a frozen food, some brine shrimp tonight to try and entice them all back out. Now this thing This has bloomed in it. It genuinely looks like it's twice the size. The frog spawn, and it seems to have loved the extra light. The Philia not so much. It looks quite. It doesn't look as puffed up as normal. The best way to put it. Looks like it's tried to curl up a bit. Now these, again, I'm going to call them zoas, but I have no idea what they actually are. They seem to have grown a lot. They've really liked that extra light. And finally, my levers. The Leopard Garden, as I'm calling it. They've really closed up. I don't think they liked it. I believe that's because I remember seeing a video by Bulk Reef Supply testing these black boxes from China. Now, as you can see here, when you look right down the center, so that Acan and into these Leopard Garden, they seem to get a high amount of power straight down. But then looking at the sides, as you can see, it's not as cloudy with all the algae because the spread is quite poor. It's very one directional, not to mention the band there. The fish are doing great. I'm hoping they didn't really lose much weight. They don't look like they did. I believe that while that chalk goby was sifting the sand, that was probably freeing up a lot of microorganisms from the sand that the wrasse would have just kept pecking at. So I think that's how they kept fed, and obviously you see them all the time just on the rocks picking at it. My Watchman Goby, I haven't seen him today, but I did see him yesterday when I got home. So I know he's well and alive. I'm sure they'll all come out when I give them a good feed. Now, what I'm going to try and do as well is all this algae, I'm going to leave it for a few days. I'm off work again on Thursday, Friday and Saturday. I'm thinking of leaving that algae alone for 3 days, just leaving the light in as it was before and seeing how much that reduces or increases. I'm hoping it'll kind of fade away and be scraped off really easily, but if not, I'll just take a scraper to it and get it all off. It shouldn't be too bad. This is all quite light surface algae, it's not the hard coralline. If you can get that focused in. So I should be able to scrape that off really easy. I'm just not looking too happy about my Cheetah. It's quite small, looks like it's recessed a bit. So we'll check that out and find out what's going on. I'm hoping that it is just that the algae in the main tanks competed with it. Salinity was good. I've increased the water, so it's back to where it started. I'm going to try and keep it at this level now. So overall, all good. The only other thing I forgot is my Chalice plating Montipore at the back. Zoom in here. That looks like it's grown again, and that is really taking off. There's no good angle for this because of where it is. I'm hoping though to drop that off its frag and either stick it so it comes up and out into that corner, or put it on the back of the glass with some glue and have it growing out. I see that a lot and I think it looks fantastic. So 6 days on its own. Fish are doing great. My fault, something went wrong with the lighting, but that's fixable. The corals are probably going to recede for a few days, but hopefully they'll bounce back. The only other thing I'm starting to see is on the Acan, some little bubbles at the top. If I can get them in focus. Now that doesn't look like bubble algae. It looks like it's receding, or something's on it. It's hard to focus with all this algae, sorry. So if anyone can try and get an idea of what that is and let me know, that'd be fantastic. I can pull it out and have a look, but I don't fancy messing with it unless I absolutely have to, because I don't like putting super glue in the tank too much. I've just seen top of the Philia. There's a spot of bubble algae. And just see it as it dips into like the heart shape. There's a little green blob at the top. Again, sorry about the quality of the pictures and the video, but that's my fault for having the algae on. I'll post another day update once it's cleaned and I've had a good look at all the corals. But overall, it's survived. Could have been better if I hadn't left my lights on though. So thanks for watching. Again, like and subscribe for more updates, and I'll keep the videos coming.